Welcome to Mid-American Gardener. I'm Sandy Mason with the University of Illinois Extension. I'll be filling in for Diane Nolan today. Okay, now maybe you're a novice gardener, maybe you're a well-seasoned gardener, or maybe you're just somewhere in between. Well, I guarantee you somewhere along the line you're going to have some questions about gardening. Well, Mid-American Gardener is your chance to hear some questions and answers about gardening in the Midwest. And of course, we have some well-seasoned gardeners, professionals here with me. You guys don't mind being called well-seasoned? Do you? No, okay.
Salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth, spicy, anyway, okay. Okay, so we've got certainly some questions from email, and Bill, you want to start off?
Sure. My name is Bill Vanderwhite, and I'm a certified arborist, so my specialty is trees and woody shrubs. I have a question about a burning bush, about when is the right time to prune burning bush, and how hard can this individual prune? So he has two and that are quite large and would like to prune very severely. Well, burning bush is a pretty tough shrub and can withstand some pretty severe pruning. I would say right now is an excellent time to prune. However, if you want to be on the safe side and you're cutting, say, a rejuvenation prune, which would be to take it down about 3 or 4 inches, I would do that when the tree is dormant, probably in early March. But I've seen people do this even in the growing season, and the bush would do just fine. So they're pretty aggressive growers, and I wouldn't be too cautious about pruning severely.
Okay. So your specialties, trees, shrubs, all
Correct,
those kind of things,
correct.
so people can think about that?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, great. And Kay, what do you have for us?
Hi, I'm Kay Carnes. I'm a Champaign County Master Gardener, and my areas of interest are herbs, vegetables, especially heirloom vegetables, and seed saving. So those are my topics. And tonight I brought with me a show and tell, and I've always loved variegated plants. And so I found this plant at the Allerton Park plant sale that was held last week, and it's actually a variegated English lavender. So that really excited me. It's called Platinum Blonde. And
Great name.
yeah. And it's said to be good to 10 below zero, so it should be pretty hardy here. It'll get to be about 18 to 24 inches tall, and it'll have the typical blue lavender flower.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and I think more and more, don't you notice more and more plants, there's like everything is like variegated now, where there's
Yes.
variegated dogwood, or it's like everything. If you into variegated, you could have your whole, although I wouldn't recommend it, maybe your whole
No.
landscape in variegated plants. But
I
I'm kind
love
of
variegated, but
Yeah,
I have
I love
several
them.
things that are, but
Yeah, that's
not
a
my
neat
whole
one.
garden. So
Great.
I'm
Variegated lavender.
I
Great
guess
one.
only a herb
Love it.
variegated
And it still
person.
smells good?
It smells
like
just-
lavender?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
Very good.
Mhm.
Very good.
And it'll be interesting to see if it holds the
Oh,
variegation.
Right,
Some plants
right, because
don't.
that is a problem sometimes, where they tend to go back to their usual color. And Phil, do you have something for us?
I'm Phil Nixon. I'm an extension entomologist of the University of Illinois, which means I do bugs. And I have a question about, person says that over the last 3 years they've had issues for front yard grass. In early spring I noticed these little bees boring into the ground, and now my soil seems too hard. Because of these bees, my grass isn't growing as thick and is very patchy in areas. Is there a way of treating both the bees and the patchy grass? Chances are what you have are burrowing bees or ground bees. They're in the family Andrenidae, if you get excited about that. But they are very good pollinators, and so they are very useful. They are probably there because you don't have much grass rather than them causing not to have much grass. These are solitary bees, which means each female makes her own tunnel and raises her own kids, but they like to nest next to other solitary females. And so you get a whole bunch of them together, and they'll be kind of buzzing around above the grass or soil, 6 or 8 inches or so, and a bunch of them. They can sting, but they're very, very unlikely to. I've had them before in where I've mowed through them and not a problem. I've had them in my garden where I rototilled the area, hoed the area, was on my hands and knees pulling up weeds. Numerous years, never got stung. Maybe they know who I am. But at any rate.
I think you deserve to get
yeah,
stung
yeah,
if you
yeah.
rototilled through them. I'm
Rototilled
sorry,
through 'em.
but that's just what I'm thinking.
But so they're really not a threat. They are good pollinators, and they're probably there because the soil is bare. They didn't They will nest in full grass, but they tend to prefer more bare soil areas. And to loosen up your soil, you probably need to core aerify the turf to loosen that up after when the soil is damp. And that'll probably do more than that. The bees didn't cause that. Enjoy them. They're part of the pollinating crew, and they're very good and useful, and just live with them. You can do it.
And the way I understand it is actually a lot of the native bees are actually these ground nesting bees, isn't it?
Yeah, many
that
of them
true?
do that.
We don't realize. We don't
the
realize
leaf
how
cutters
much
will,
of them
will,
do
will
that.
nest in stems, and carpenter bees will nest in big stems, wood,
Your house.
branches, naturally branches, and unpainted wood. But yeah, they're going to be in a variety of situations. But you're right. The majority of bees are ground nesters, and in fact, they've been able to go back and look at the various groups of bees and kind of see how the idea of honeybees having a big nest with all these sterile females kind of worked that direction from a single solitary bee, and then there's ones that are just a few bees, and then those that have a bunch more, and there's kind of a stepwise progression there. And so you can kind of see how bugs figured out to be social animals.
Yeah, I kind of like that. So maybe people can get used to it,
Oh, yeah,
enjoy
they're
nature
just-
a little bit. I know it's kind of tough, but maybe
Yeah,
there's
well,
certain
you
areas
know,
we can
it's-
just enjoy. Okay, very good.
Live with it.
Live with it. That's going to be our theme for tonight. Just live with it. Okay, we do have some callers. We have Bob on line 1 who has some questions about a grapevine.
Yes, ma'am. I put out a grapevine here a couple of years ago, and I'm wanting to know how long it takes for fruit to come on it.
So how long for a grapevine? And when did you put it in, you said? I'm sorry?
I've had it a couple of years ago.
A couple years. And you haven't seen any fruit? Is that the issue?
No, I haven't seen any fruit on it at all.
Okay. And then it's one that was hardy, was meant to be, one that was meant to be in our area? Because there are some that are not hardy here.
Well,
Some
it
of
comes up every year, and the vines are getting bigger, but I've had no fruit on it.
Yeah.
It's
I've had them before where I think that probably, I don't know exactly how long it takes, but I want to say 2 or 3 years. It's not all
Yeah.
that long.
I would
and I think
it's
some
a-
of the less hardy ones, their problems is that the flowers freeze off.
Yeah, see, that's what I really wonder about. If you have one that's, so if you know the name or something, it might be worth sort of checking out just to make sure that that particular name variety is one that is hardy for our area. Because there's certainly some French types and stuff that are not hardy. Some of the wine type grapes. So,
But it doesn't take very
but
long for them to start.
I would
bearing.
hang in there. I don't know if you're doing any kind of pruning on them. If you prune on them, they do need to be pruned every year. So that's the other part too. So hopefully that gives you some ideas.
You also realize that grapes kind of grow in some really poor soil areas and situations, so don't coddle them.
Don't coddle them.
Yeah, if you kind of let them do their thing and don't fertilize them a whole lot and so on, they'll probably be more likely to bear than if
Okay.
you try to
Very good.
try to
Okay.
coddle them along.
Okay. Okay, Bob, hopefully that gives you some ideas about grapes. And we have a caller in line 3. It's Pete, who has some questions about mums.
Yes. When should mum plants be pinched back?
When should mums be pinched?
Well, now, actually, you start pinching them back now, and I think don't you stop like in June or so.
Yeah, usually around 4th of July is a good time to think about quit pinching. Don't pinch them. After
So
that.
go ahead and pinch your mums.
Pinch your mom. Not your mom.
Well, Mother's Day is over, so it's all right.
Notice she said, Mom, not Mom. Okay? We don't want to get any confusion there. Okay, very good. Okay, and then maybe Carol has the same question about mums. She's on line 6. You also have a question about mums?
Hi, this is Carol. Yes, I have 2 questions. My first question is my hardy phlox. It's up about 4 foot high already, and I was wondering if I trim that back, will it still bloom in the summertime?
About trimming back phlox?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, it will, and it tends to delay blooming. I know sometimes, I don't know if you've done this. It's like the same thing with mums. If you actually pinch them back, it tends to make them a little shorter, and then it also they tend to produce more flowers, and they also bloom a little bit later. So if all those things are okay for you, then it certainly would work. So hopefully it gives you some ideas.
Less
pinching.
apt to blow over.
Yeah, acceptable. I actually do that with a lot of things like asters and a lot of those things to sort of make sure that they don't flop over. You should just go out there and pinching your mums and pinching your flax and pinching all kinds of things. Okay, and then I think we also had a caller about compost. I'm afraid yeah. Peggy on line 2. You have a question
hello.
about compost? Uh-huh.
Well, I recently had tree taken down and the stump ground, and they put the stump grindings back in the hole where it came from. Eventually, I want to plant something else there, and I have heard that wood shavings and stuff, as they decompose, they use up the nitrogen or something. So I'd like to know, is it okay to wait a little while and then just let that be, plant right in that, or what?
Okay, well,
question.
first question is, what kind of tree was it? Because that's...
Oh, I don't know if we still have her. Do you know what
It's
kind of
a
tree it
tree?
was?
A redbud tree.
Oh, okay. Because
Okay.
you don't want a pine or, black walnut or something like that. But
So any thoughts about that as far as stump? You probably
I don't
ground out
think it
a
would
few
be
stumps in
ideal,
your
but I
life.
think over time it would be okay. You might want to incorporate a little soil into it, but
yeah, it takes a little while
yeah,
for it to decompose.
yeah,
But it makes great compost.
sure. And initially it will rob, I guess, some of that nitrogen from the soil. Over time it will return it as it decomposes. So, yeah, you'd be okay.
So probably
Just-
the thing she might notice is maybe the leaves might turn a little yellow. If
Yeah.
it really is sort of robbing
Yeah.
nitrogen, which you probably see some
I
response
can't
in the
imagine
plant.
the red
or-
buds that,
Yeah.
I guess, that large that it
Yeah.
would be that much
Yeah.
mulch there.
Right.
But
So it shouldn't be a huge issue. Then. Okay.
And if they put it in the same hole, you're best not to put another tree in the same hole. But the other thing is as those shavings decompose, you'll get a depression in the soil. So you don't want to plant a tree in there too soon.
Yeah.
It'll start going down, and before long, just by that decomposing, you're going to have a tree that's
Yeah,
planted
good
too
point.
deeply, and then it won't live very well or very long. So.
That's very true. I've had that happen to me where we had to use that same spot because that was the only spot available. And then the tree kind of would tilt because the soil would subside. So
Okay.
typically, even when we would backfill, we'd do a little bit of a mound because otherwise you end up with a depression. Good
So
point.
So
Good
if she
point.
does want to plant right away, maybe actually kind of plant a little high. Is that
yeah.
otherwise wait a
Or-
couple years?
Or incorporate some soil, I
Yeah,
think.
put
too.
some soil in
Put
it.
some
Okay.
flowers in there for
Or put some flowers in for a little
for a
while.
couple years.
There you go. There you go. That might be another idea. Well, I know we have several other emails, so why don't we go ahead and do
Sure.
the rest of our emails?
And
Bill?
the discussion about the redbud is a good segue here. I have a question about a purple tree. It said, I have a tree in my front yard, purple blossoms in the springtime, and the rest of the year it looks half dead. What kind of tree is this?
Sounds delightful.
And it's a redbud, and sometimes not so affectionately referred to as deadbud. They have a tendency to develop deadwood really over time, just a little bit every year. I know I have a redbud that's still more of a juvenile, and each year produces a little deadwood. But if you let it go and don't do anything about it, they can produce a lot of deadwood. They have trouble with trunk anchors and verticillium wilt, and I don't know what other reasons are producing that deadwood. But the question was too, how do I tell what's dead and what needs to be trimmed out? Well, simply wait for the tree to leaf out, and what's not leafed out is dead, so remove that. It should be quite simple, really. You might want to wait a little bit till it fully leaves out. Trees are sometimes a little slow. But it's a particular problem with redbud, unfortunately. They tend to produce a lot of deadwood.
yeah, beautiful trees.
Yeah,
nice
they're
native
beautiful.
tree, but
Yeah.
probably not a long-term tree.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Well, I have a email from some folks in Indiana, and they said, would you share with us the benefits of using mushroom compost when planting tomatoes? I sure will. Mushroom compost is my favorite compost. And of course, mushroom or any compost acts as a fertilizer as well as for water, not only retention, but for good drainage. It helps the soil a lot. And I use it you have to be a little careful with mushroom compost because it can contain salts. So you don't ever want to use it on a salt-sensitive plant like rhododendron or azalea or something like that. And I always mix it with something. I mix it with my potting soil for my seed starting mixture. And when I plant tomatoes, or actually all the vegetables that I plant, I dig the hole and mix a handful of compost with the soil and then put the plant in and cover it up. And you can top dress with it also if you so desire. But I like the mushroom compost because I like the texture of it. It's nice and soft and fluffy, and it usually doesn't have a lot of sticks like the garden compost does.
So just explain real quick what it is. I'm not sure people understand. It's called mushroom compost, but it's really...
It's the soil that the commercial growers grow their mushrooms in, and they can't use it after the first year, but they sell it, and it makes really, really great compost, and is wonderful for the garden.
So it's not that you're going to get mushrooms growing out of
No,
it necessarily.
I never
just
have.
So people I've never seen that either, but I thought we better make that clear
Yeah.
to people. Okay, great. Thanks, Kay. And Phil, I'm thinking you have an insect question here.
Of course.
Of course.
I found these strange-looking creatures on my ornamental plum. I was tempted to just cut off a branch that the nest is on and be done with it, till I noticed the worms are crawling on other seemingly unaffected branches, and I wouldn't be getting them all. I would like to know if they are harmful to the bush, and if so, how should I go about getting rid of them? What these are eastern tent caterpillars, and I use them as the first sign of spring. Bug people have to have bugs as a sign of spring. And so they will, as you can see, they get quite pretty. They eventually get up to about 2 inches long, and they have a nice golden yellow stripe down their back with blue on the side and all this sort of stuff. Really cute looking if it wasn't for a couple hundred of them on your tree eating all the foliage off. They attack trees in the rose family. That's going to be not only plums, but crab apples and our fruit trees, apples, peaches, pears, and plums, as well as related plants such as hawthorn and cotoneaster and pyracantha and serviceberry, these sorts of things. They're all in the same family, always have nice blooms in the spring, and this is when they show up. You can let them go ahead and strip the trees. All you gotta do is go along the interstates in Illinois, anywhere. And in June, you will see that a lot of the trees don't have any leaves on them. Those are in the rose family. They're probably wild plums. And they will, and then a month later you'll see that they've got plenty of leaves. It is very hard in Illinois or other places in the Midwest to kill one of these kinds of trees. And so they can be stripped bare and they will do fine. If you want to do something about them, they go out of that silk nest that they build in the twig crotch onto the leaves at various times of the day to feed, but they're inside at night. So you go out at night or on a rainy day or a real cloudy day, they won't be out either. And what I like to do is just grab a hold of with my hands and pull out the nest and do a stomping act on them, and or rub them between my hands and then wipe my hands on the grass or whatever the case may be. And that works great. That'll work fine for it. But definitely do not want to burn nests on there. You will can cause cankers that can be very damaging to the tree. You can treat with BTK, Bacillus thuringiensis kerstaki, dipel, thuricide, other brand names like that. Or you can do absolutely nothing, and you may lose some leaves, but they'll come back. And so it's not really a serious problem to the plant, and it's one of the signs of spring.
Okay, so you can decide on how you want to care for them.
Yeah. They only occur in the
or
spring. By the time we get into the end of May, they're pretty well done.
I have seen so many on the interstate lately, just all along the interstate.
Particularly in southern Illinois along Interstate 70, they are really
sign
heavy.
of spring. I didn't know it was a sign of spring.
Sign of spring.
Okay, we have a caller, Ann, on line one. She has a question about one of my all-time favorite things, rhubarb. What can we do for you?
I wanted to know about harvesting rhubarb. When I go out and pick rhubarb, I just pull the stalks off. Should I cut them? And how long can we use the plant before we need to let it rest and produce its new growth?
Okay, rhubarb. Yeah, I have. Well, I have rhubarb. I'm one of the people who like rhubarb. Actually, it's good to actually pull them off. That's actually the petiole of the leaf, and if you pull them off, you actually pull off the whole thing. If you just cut them off, you can leave a little piece, and sometimes that goes ahead and rots and causes a few issues. So it's not a huge thing, but it's probably better just to pull them off. You can. The young ones, of course, are going to be more tender for you, so it's better to have the young ones. Probably, once we start getting into June, you could certainly still go through June and harvest on an established plant. That's just fine. Typically, we wouldn't do it much past June. Plus, the quality's not all that great either. It starts to get real fibrous and all that kind of stuff. And then it takes even more and more sugar to put on them for make them edible. At any rate, so that's great. So I love rhubarb. It's one of the big favorites.
Yeah.
Some people do. Some people don't. Strawberry rhubarb pie, yum. Okay, we have a great video that we're going to go ahead and show. We're going to look at some daffodils.
Prince Charles collects flowers as rent for the Isle of Scilly. Which flower is it? A. Iris, B. Daffodil, C. Hydrangeas. B. Daffodil. There currently are no tenants on the Isle of Scilly. The local environmental trust still pays 1 daffodil annually to Prince Charles as rent.
I kind of like that. Maybe we should try that tradition here, just maybe giving a daffodil. I don't know, maybe not paying it, but anyway. Okay, so much for that. Anyway. Okay, so on line 4, we have Tony has a comment about bulbs, I guess, from last week's show.
Well, hi. Thanks
Hi.
for taking my call.
Sure.
It's been a couple of weeks. I've been trying to get on and let you in on this. There was a lady who called in about planting tulip bulbs, and the following spring, she only had a few that came up.
Okay.
And my solution, I did some replanting of my ornamental lilies this time, over 500, I believe they were. And what I do is I put mothballs about every 3 or 4 foot, and the rodents, or whatever you want to call them, they don't like the smell of that stuff, and they stay away. And next year, whoever wants to plant tulips, your tulips will come up. They will leave your tulips alone.
Okay, certainly one idea, using mothballs. Personally, it keeps me away because I hate the smell of mothballs, so it would also keep me away. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Okay,
Yeah,
so
the only way the
think of those
mothballs
ideas.
really work is if they're down in the ground where the odor and the fumes are contained.
Yeah,
If
so-
it's on the surface, it's doing essentially nothing.
Other than making me crazy.
I have a close friend that got up early one morning and he had put mothballs around his marigolds to keep the rabbits from doing it. Noticed a rabbit pushing the mothball up and down the crack of a sidewalk with its nose. And of course, it only works that first year. Mothballs are going to subliminate. They go directly from solid to gas over that first season.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
my way of, I like to look at it, if somebody's got a problem with ground squirrels or chipmunks or something, digging them out, to plant the bulbs and then put a piece of poultry netting or screen wire over the top so that the shoots can go up through the holes in the screen, but the rodents can get down to get to the bulbs.
Yeah.
And that's works for decades.
Yeah. So they like tulips, don't they? Okay, great. Thank you for that comment. And on line 3, we have Carl has one of my other favorites, asparagus. Do you have a question for us?
Oh, sure. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, but thing is that got a patch of asparagus about 10 feet wide by 30 feet long, and it's been there for 5 to 8 years. And all of a sudden this year, the asparagus just doesn't seem like it's coming back up. And I don't know if I should wait longer and see what happens, or just rototill it out and replant. It's in full sunlight, and it's always produced very well, but I just don't know what to do.
It should be up by now. Do you
Oh, yeah.
cut all of it? Do you ever leave any to, go to, let the fronds develop?
So you,
It sends nutrition to the roots.
okay. Okay. Could this have been a particularly wet spot? Because it's about the only thing I've ever seen really kill off asparagus is if it gets really wet, and that's true for rhubarb too. So could this have been particularly wet?
Wet. Very, very possible.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's probably what happened.
Another thing is asparagus are fairly heavy feeders, and so adding some mulch. When I was growing up, we used chicken manure out of a chicken house, things like this, to kind of give it some fertilizer and so on. Rhubarb also is a heavy feeder, so if it's in fairly poor soil to start with, that may be some help too.
Okay. Very good. Okay, well, I don't think we have another time for another caller. No? Yeah, I think we need to wrap things up. I know we have more callers left. The good news is you can always email us. You can contact us in other ways, and we'll try to help you out with all your questions. And it always goes so fast. I know, there's so many different questions. So thank you all very much, and it's going to be a great season gardening. I'm just sure of it. So hope you join us next time on Mid-American Gardener.